Good evening, everyone. This is Malcolm Peters on the 12th of March 2017 for our weekly webinar. It's a series of webinars that we have every Sunday, really designed for distributors, for guests, for existing members, just about anybody who's involved in GPG Group. Tonight, I have a fabulous panel. As you come online, please introduce yourselves, your first names, where you're calling from. There's a 45-second lag between the time that we speak and that you hear us. And I'd like to say hello to all of you. We're not showing in my room, but are watching us on YouTube as well. We're looking forward to this call. We have some fabulous guests online. Many of them you know as leaders in GPG. And really, I'd like to say to all of you, you want to make this call a centerpiece of ending your week so that you can build up to a crescendo with all of the guests that you've been talking to, people that have been to your meetings, new members that so we can share information with everybody. First person that's joined us is Haralampos. Hi, Haralampos, calling you from Athens in Greece. We call him Papi, as you know. Oliver's joined us now. He's teleporting backwards and forwards. He's trying a Doctor Who trick on all of us at the moment. So we'll see him, then we don't see him. Let's see how we get on. Hi, Bianca. Welcome to the call from Holland. Greece and Holland early on. The call officially will start very shortly. We're going to make sure that all of you can come online and we can talk to all of you before we get started. Hi, Tammy and Will from Canada. Great. Vita from Athens. Welcome to the call. Dimitri, welcome to the call. And Eleanor, hi. We've got Tina from Canada. Welcome to the call. Oliver, can you please mute your microphone? Chris Harding and William. Chris and William, great to see you online. We're going to be talking on Tuesday. Can you make a note of that, please? Tuesday morning, Chris and William. Very important. We have a call together. Lots of things happening very quickly. We've got someone here making a lot of noise. Okay, there you are. He's got now. That's fine. Sandy, if you'd just like to mute, please. Anne-Marie, hi. Welcome to the call. Oliver's going to restart his PC. He's going to be cycling tonight because he's got a dynamo-powered system. Apparently, it's very eco-friendly in South Africa at this moment in time. Hi, Jerry. Welcome to the call. Jean-Claude, welcome to the call from France. Fabulous to have you online. Leah, welcome to the call from Holland. Pierre Olsen, long time no speak, calling in from Sweden. Welcome to the call. Hi, Helena from Greece. Excellent. Welcome to the call. We've had Anne-Marie. So we've got people from Anita. I nearly forgot you. Hi, Anita. Welcome to the call. Wasn't it fantastic, the meeting that you guys had in Holland today? It was a real pleasure making an appearance there and seeing the crowd as it was. It's phase 2, as we call it, as we start building. Renee, hi. Welcome to the call from Athens. Fabulous. Yes, you are. Well, no, you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be. Hi, Margie. Welcome to the call. Rita from Cyprus. Welcome to the call. Only there might be a problem. Can you all hear me? If you can hear me, just say hi. Can you all hear me? You should be able to hear me. Say yes, you can. If you can hear me, say hi. Can you hear me? Yes, there you go. Perfect. I was looking like this. Hi, Lendry from South Africa. What a lovely name. Welcome to the call. Craig from the UK. Excellent. Welcome to the call, Craig. Jean-Claude. Hi. Great. Keith, welcome to the call. We don't know who you are. Keith White, I think it is. Jerry. Okay, we're going to get the call started in just about a minute's time. We're waiting for Oliver, who's teleporting backwards and forwards from South Africa.
I'm here.
Ah, there he is. He's arrived. Welcome to the call, Oliver. Fabulous. Jacqueline, welcome to the call. As you all settle in, tonight's call is going to be an exciting call as it normally is. And I'd like to spend a few moments as you all join us to remind you of what the purpose of this call is and why I really try and speak to all the leaders to support this call. Through the week, you and I work with people. We're doing meetings, actively going out, seeing people on one-on-ones, doing trainings, etc. But we need a center point where the activity comes to a point where we're getting people ready for the next week, if you like, the finishing line of 1 week. And for years now, we've had a Sunday call because Sunday is the best day. People say to me, why don't you have it on Saturdays? It's a religious day for some people. We found Saturday is, you're never going to find the perfect time. Saturdays, people are going shopping. I know here in England, I'm sure in your countries, they finish work, that's the day they go shopping. Sunday afternoons is not very good because it's lunch. So the best time that we have found over 20 plus years now, I've been doing these calls, not on this kind of platform, but on telephone calls that we worked with before. It's wonderful, didn't have to wear a suit those days. Was around this time, around 7 or 8 o'clock GMT. We'll be changing this call, if you all make a note, to make it a little bit earlier in 2 weeks' time. And we want to do that so it enables people from India. We've got a giant group for Colleen who's joining us in India. And for them, it's about 11 o'clock at night. So at 12 o'clock right now, as we do this call at this time, we want them to come and listen into a call as well. It'll be earlier for Middle East, it'll be earlier for India, and be earlier for other parts of the country, other countries in the world, around the world as well. So welcome to our call. We're going to get the call started now. Let's say hi to everybody from Greece, South Africa. So let's get the call started. Finally, sorry, before I forget, I've been on so many calls today. I've been on another call earlier on. As I was saying, to the end of the week, you know, I find myself chasing, which I shouldn't do, looking for new speakers online. Fortunately, I've got fantastic colleagues who help us with this call. People like Colleen, people like the guest that you're going to see online right now. Haralampos has been on several calls right now, but Rolandos is a regular on our calls with Andriani. It's important for you to use this platform to recognize new sapphires. It gives them a chance to have a public platform to cut their teeth, if you like, with a moderator who can get them out of trouble if they get their words mumbled. So it's important to use the call for that. Secondly, the call is important because we repeat information on a weekly basis. Some people say, Malcolm, your calls are very long. That's your opinion. We used to drive 2.5 to 3 hours to listen to 4-hour seminars for years. That's where we learned our trade. Information is priceless. And when it comes to different people with different concepts, you'll find that certain people in your organization will relate wonderfully to Oliver. Some will relate wonderfully to Sandy. Some will relate wonderfully to Colleen. So it's important, this call on Sundays, and I'd like you to support us. Quick piece of news, we're going to have a couple of big stars joining us next Sunday or the Sunday after, so make sure that people join. So without further ado, we're going to get our call started. I'd like to introduce you to my guests first. Before we get the call started, I'm going to go left to right from where I'm sitting right now, right to left rather. We've got Sandy there, lovely Sandy from Canada, a great guest of ours, a fantastic lady who's been in the industry a very long time. We've got Oliver, the infamous Oliver, causing a firestorm in South Africa right now. Great to have him online. We've got Duchess and the Duke there, Rolandos, who will smile, I'm assured, that as the call goes on. And he's got his best T-shirt on as well. So he knows it's important meeting today. Rolandos and Andriani. We've got the fabulous Dan calling you from Tennessee. We've got Colleen who's calling from Canada as well. So without further ado, my first guest tonight is the lovely Sandy Chambers, Sapphire, who's going to be talking to you about customer service as she sees it, servicing your customers. Without further ado, Sandy Chambers, Sapphire.
Well, thank you, Malcolm, for having me on the call. It's always a pleasure to be on with you. And I know that we often don't talk about customers because we'd much prefer to have distributors in our business. And a lot of people are a little disappointed when somebody says, well, I'd like to try the product, but don't want to build a business. And yet there is a lot to be said for a customer. On the eve of the new Preferred Customer Program coming in this week into North America, and I believe you're going to have it in April in Europe, I thought it would be a good time to talk about the value of customers and how to look after them. And because they do need looking after if you intend to keep them. And one of the things, you know, we've all known, and if there are new people on the line, if you have 5 customers, what that means to your business is they're going to give you 5% more in your matching bonuses on all the people that you have working your business. If you have 10 customers, it's going to give you an additional 5%, which ups it to 30%, which is the highest percentage I have ever seen in a marketing plan. So it can be very, very important to your business to get these customers on board. And I do a lot of things with them. In one business, my very first business, it was a direct sellers business. And I had, over 13 years, accomplished having 1,000 customers in my business. And, you know, a lot of people don't realize this, but if they're happy customers, they will stay with you month after month after month, creating a nice volume for you that you wouldn't have without them. So I love it when people say that they do want to be a customer. You know, if they're content and love our products, they may be the best person to give you referrals, or they may change their mind. I remember a story about Paul. I don't know how many of you know about it, but Paula Pritchard is our the person that we work with at the Diamond above us, and she was not interested in going into a company, another network marketing company, but she wanted to lose some weight. and she got on their product, and people kept saying to her, how did you do it? How did you do it? And before she knew it, she had thousands of dollars of volume as a distributor. Meanwhile, she had only intended to be a customer in that business. So that's how customers can work out for you. And what I do with them is I do get on the phone with them the day that, as soon as I notice that they've received their product, I do get on the phone with them. And you might wonder why, but it's beyond my belief when, people spend the money to buy a product and they don't get around to opening their package. I've had so many people say, oh, I haven't opened it yet, and they've had it for 2 to 3 weeks. So I find a reason why they need to open it now. And I get on the phone and I'll say to them, I just saw that you received your product yesterday. I just wanted to go over a few ideas on how to get the most out of what you're going to have. Now, if it was skincare, you might think, well, how simple it is it to, wash your face with the cleanser, take it off, but I give them little tips, and I say, if you give me a few minutes, I'd love to share how to get the most out of your product. And with the cleanser, I go through how you put it a little bit the size of a pea between your hands and rub it with some water so it foams. So that's when you put it on. The reason I go into this detail with them is because if they try to put it on directly and it takes forever to get it off, they may not like it and they may not want to use it again. So I go through, if it's the skincare, I'll go through step by step, really talking about the mask. The mask is probably the product that people least use, and I'll say this is my absolute favorite, and tell them the benefits. After masking, your skin feels baby soft for at least 5 days. It's unbelievable how it feels, because you're going to find that the one thing they're not going to use and they're going to have left over is that mask. If it's weight loss, I'll go through now. You want to detox. And by the way, no matter what the product is, whether it's skincare or the Zen Body, I talk about them taking a picture of themselves. It is so important because, a lot of people don't realize this, particularly men, about women. If they love their skincare, they actually become married to it and they will never ever leave it. So that's why if they're going on the skincare, you want to really go step by step what needs to happen, how to get the most out of it, how to apply it. And I often tell them, don't expect miracles within the first couple of weeks, because your skin is going to take time. Maybe it's taken 30, 40 years to get to where it is today. It's not going to take a month to fix it. So when I phone them back, and that'll be within a month, I will give them a call back, and I don't say, how are you finding it, or how does it look? I'll say, don't you love the feel of your skin? Because that I can guarantee that they're going to have that result, that softness, the smoothness of the look. I want to kind of tell them it's going to take time over a number of months, and Colleen's going to go into testimonials, but I do have one great one that I share with people. One woman took a picture of herself, and after about, I don't give them 6 months because everybody's, result is going to take more, less time or more time. It's going to be an individual thing. But I'll say after a number of months, she was becoming a little discouraged, thinking that she wasn't seeing any results until the day she found her picture. She could not believe the difference between before she started and now. So you too are going to have that, experience. So just make sure you've got that picture logged away and take a look from time to time and see the differences. So what I'm trying to do is keep them on the product for as long as possible, waiting for these results. I don't give them a timeline, and the same thing is true with weight loss. Take a picture. And I actually help them every couple of months. I'll give them a call to see how they're enjoying the product. I use the word, how are you enjoying it? I don't ask them for problems. Do you have any questions? Because they're going to try to find something negative about it. And so I keep encouraging them to use the products. If they are on a weight loss or Zen Body, I'll also try to encourage them to use another product along with it. You know, they've been on it a month, they've gone through the detox, now they're into the next section. And I'll say to them, you know, one thing that I found might be helpful is to be on the reserve. You know, when you have a lot of inflammation in your body, you're going to actually find it, you know, that you'll have more weight. And the reserve helps get rid of that inflammation. So you can actually build as you go along on them trying more and more products. And then when you get them on a product that, like reserve, that is used up in 1 month, you know, I can say to them, listen, you know, to look after your needs, we have a special promotion where we have a prepaid convenience program where you can actually have all the products sent to you at one cost. And if you do 360 points, you get a free serum. And so I'm always looking for ways to help them save money and get them on the program. And talk about the smart shipping. You know, this, you can have it done all at once so that you pay for one shipping, or you can have it done each month. If they're on AM/PM, I'll explain my story was that when I first got started, I'd be out of my AM/PMs and suddenly realize I got to wait a week and a half to get it from the States. And so now I put it on a schedule so that on smart shipping, so that I'm never without it. As I'm at the end of my AM/PM, it's arriving in my mailbox. So I never have to be without the products I love. So I will go through that with them by phoning them every 2 to 3 months. And I just put a little smile on my face because they can see that smile over the phone and say, you know, Colleen, I'm just giving you a quick customer service call. You know, how are you today, type of thing. So they know that I'm not looking for another sale, but I have their interest at heart. And I have found through making these calls, they'll say, oh, by the way, I'm out of cleanse, or I'm out of this. Last month, I couldn't believe it. I phoned about the new NV, and the customer ended up by buying $700 worth of products that I wouldn't have had if I hadn't made a phone call. You know, she was out of cleanser, night cream, day cream, Infinity, you know, it went on and on. So, you know, it pays to make the call every once in a while. You want to call to check on how they're using the product and the results they're getting. You want to call about any new products. You know, as soon as I hear that we got a new product, well, that's a whole reason to phone every one of them, to keep them interested. And, you know, when I was in my first company, we used to do have a customer appreciation night, and I kind of did that with the NV. I had a focus group with just my customers, and I said, I want this to be an opportunity to have a cup of coffee or a glass of wine, just relax, and I want you to experience our new product and see what you think. I'm very excited about it, and I told them a little bit about it, and I said, I'd love to have you come over to my house, and we're going to just pop the cork and have a nice evening. There was no pressure on them to buy. And what was interesting, the first night I had 18 of them show up and not one person purchased. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. But I got on the phone the next day and said, how did you enjoy your evening last night? It was wonderful having you here. And they said, I want to get that product. And almost all of them placed an order for the kit. So I was pretty excited about that. When I have what I used to do in my first business with my customer appreciation, I would do it right before Christmas, maybe the end of November, the first week of December, or around Mother's Day, before Mother's Day or whatever. And I would give them a little percentage off all the products. And I said to them, you know, often you've given me a cup of coffee along the way. I'd love to have you come over and have a cup of coffee at my house, see any of our new products, the new packaging, except, you know, whatever I had to show. And maybe when they come over, if you're going to do something like that, is offer to give them some of the new products, a sample of the new products and a little gift bag. Get them to experience the reserve, something they haven't had, or maybe give them a couple samples of the Instantly Ageless. Those ways, you know, encourages them to try more and more of our products that they normally may not have. So I just love my customers. I keep in touch with them on a regular basis, and that's why a lot of them stay. Not all of them will, but even if they go off auto ship, I'm still on the phone with the new products. I know that this, you are not on our products anymore, but I did want to let you know what's new. It may or may not be for you, is what I've said, and they're all listening when I kind of take it away from them. And they show renewed interest in something like, well, the NV, everybody's all over that. So it's been a very popular product. Thanks, Malcolm. Back to you.
Oh, fantastic. I just want to cover a couple of things. By the way, we're not taking any questions, Nettie, until right at the end of the call, because it'd be distracting and unfair for my speakers and for my guests. So would you leave the questions right to the end? I just love that little segment you've gone through. There's so much information you gave. For example, you don't say, how did you, what did you think? But you come up with a very positive statement like, doesn't your skin feel great? I love that. How are you enjoying it? I also like this very much. The special prepaid customer, special prepaid convenience program. That's it. I scribbled it so much. Can't read it. Just sit there and decipher it.
You're not supposed to say auto-ship.
I'm going to put my glasses on the screen right now. I've got these big bins that I use, So the prepaid convenience program. I really like that. And I think the important thing that you said also is that, you're keeping in touch with them without pressure or obligation. You're just building up a relationship. And that's what our business is all about. We're relationship marketeers. We're building up relationships with people who are customers. We're building up relationships with the people who are distributors. And I think that segment was absolutely fantastic. What I'd like to do is I want to put all these bullet points down. I'm sure all the leaders on this call will, and share that with people. Because when you turn around, another thing that you've mentioned as well, you said you had 18 people around, no one bought anything, your heart sank a little bit. When you call them, almost everybody bought something, and one of them bought something for 700 euros. Now imagine if everyone in our organizations were to build up a small group, not a giant sales program. People got this idea, I want to sell thousands of bottles. This is about a lot of people doing a little bit. If you could nurture, like Sandy has. Sandy's been very, very humble and polite tonight. She built up a customer base in her last business of 1,000 customers buying from her regularly, which is incredible. And I think it's something that's overlooked by a lot of people. They're going in, trying to get them on board and move forward, let's build. So I thought that was absolutely fantastic. And I'd like you to come online again. It's always a pleasure to have you on the call. I'm sure everyone got something out of that. It leads on perfectly to my next guest, who has been really a revelation for all of us. And she comes online with her partner, Rolandos, which I really appreciate from the bottom of my heart. I do this call for everybody, regardless of what group they're in. They do the same. And I'd like you to listen very carefully to what Andriana is going to share with you. Sapphire from Cyprus, the power of testimonials.
Good evening, Malcolm. Thank you very much for the invitation to speak to the call tonight. I would like to start with a personal story. 17 years ago, I was making my first steps in advertising, and I was ready to present my catalog, one design of a catalog. I was so happy about the design I've made, and the customers saw the design and said to me, okay, I need space in there to put my testimonials. I was like, what do you mean testimonials? You're gonna ruin my design. What do you mean you want to put in there? My customer's opinion about my products. And remember the day I'm telling you, this will help you through your life, through your business life. And she was so right. So what actually is a testimonial? It's people sharing their experience with something they like, with a product they like. And when people go and buy something, or they want to visit a restaurant or to buy a car, they tend to look for information about that product and ask other people about their opinion. So this phenomenon is called social proof, actually. And we can leverage this phenomenon by testimonials, by gathering information from our clients, their own experiences. And I'll go to some ideas how we can use to make testimonials and use the testimonials in our business in Jeunesse. So, social media posts. A happy client will post on Facebook, on Twitter, on social media generally, their experiences. And I'll go with example again. I had this customer in Australia. She couldn't move from arthritis for years. When she went on reserve and saw the first results, she started posting on Facebook, so happy that she's now wearing high heels. She can go to the gym. She has no pain. And she was sharing on her wall her experience. And without understand or knowing, she was getting clients and friends asking, what are you doing? Why? What's this? And she had a number of clients without looking for them. Those testimonials that now that they post on their wall, we can screenshot them and use them to promote the product. So, and if people see that it's a real person that is writing and is screenshot, more of the posts are open to everybody. So everybody can go and search the name of that person and look the page on Facebook and see that it's real, that someone actually write this testimonial. The second idea is before and after picture. Now, this here we have to be careful because in nowadays with Photoshop and all these photo fixing application we all have, people are not so convinced when they see a before and after picture. So, and we all have a good before and after pictures to show. And we know that it's real, but the other people are not knowing that. So what we need to do is, with the picture, we can add a text in our post that, I know that you think this is a Photoshop, but it's not, and I can prove it to you. If you want a live demo, I can show it to you. And this can apply to Instantly Ageless and Envy. Third way, same before and after pictures in our presentation, in our live presentation. And I will go with example again. When we speak about skincare line, about the Luminesse line in Cyprus, we have two pictures from Elena, a girl in our team. Elena has had acne before, so we post the picture with the acne, and then the picture that is now without the acne. And we ask, do you think it's Facebook? Do you think it's Photoshop or an app that fixes the picture? And everybody says, yes, it's Photoshop. Well, the person that you look in the pictures is in the room right now, and you can see her live. So everybody's now believe in the product. Same with Instantly Ageless. Would you like to see actual? Now let's have the live demo. Fourth way, video testimonials. Video now in our days is one of the most useful tool, let's say, we have in social media and through our everyday life. We all now start making video. So a video is really powerful because it's actually showing the result. And this can apply to Instantly Ageless and Envy perfectly because they have instant results right now. So with the videos, we have to be careful, though, to show exactly what we want to show. And if the person speaks in the video about how it feels, the product, this will be better. Fifth way is Facebook Lives or Instagram Lives. Just to be careful to apply the product one day before to that person that we will apply it on the live, so we can see that actually works perfectly on them, not to be live and something goes wrong and we don't know what to do. Also, we can ask from our friends and team members that, tomorrow at 7 p.m. I'll go live in Facebook, so please help me and share my live so most people from your friend list will see my live. And on the live, people can ask questions and they can get answer in real time. So this is really, really good with lives. So you can get testimonials. Sixth way, high profile testimonials. we all have some in our team, some people that maybe are famous celebrities or well-known in each of our countries. And they may be our clients. So we can politely ask them, can you give me a testimonial so I can show that you use it? Because people like when they see famous people use some products. That's what a lot of companies outside MLM anyway do with the TV ads or magazine ads. They choose celebrities, they pay them, of course, and they promote their product. So we can ask them. If they don't want to give us something, or they don't want to make a video for us or something, we can use their name. It's true, they use the product, and we do that in Cyprus a lot of time. We have the ex-First Lady of Cyprus. We can use her name because she's a customer. We have famous football players, so we use it. Seventh way is press reviews. And this is where Malcolm is doing it very well, press reviews. A lot of companies are paying $1,000 to have an advertisement in a magazine. Jeunesse is not paying anything, and magazines and TV shows, they are always showing out Jeunesse. They put a lot of press releases or interviews and things in the magazines. So we can use that. We are in Vogue, in Good Morning America. We are everywhere, in all magazines, in all countries. So we can use that reviews. And last but not least is over-the-phone testimonial. Let's say, I get an example. Yesterday, Rolandos called me and said to me, I'm here with a lady, and because you had an experience with blemishes on your face and she facing the same problem, can you please talk about your experience here? I said, of course. So I said my problem, how it was, what reaction I had with the products, what result I had, and at the end, Rolandos placed an order with all skincare for 3 months. Because she heard another person talking with the same problem as she had. And I'm finishing with a don't. Never, never, never promote your commission reports. I see that a lot of times on Facebook. People, desperate people, showing this week I take this money, and this week I get paid with this money and this money. This is not a testimonial. This is a desperate movement that they are making. So that's for me today. Thank you very much, Malcolm.
Absolutely fantastic. And I'd just like to go through a couple of key points. Lots of great information again. Going back to Sandy, I thought that was a very important thing that you mentioned, Sandy. If we build up a relationship with every customer and with every distributor who first joins us, and we could be there together while we're with them, or somehow find a way to do this. So take a photograph when they first start using the product, and we can make sure that they're using this product over a period of time. You said something that's very important, is that people forget the transformation, because you see your face every morning when you're brushing your teeth, you can't see the change. So that's one of the reasons why when we do live testimonials, so that you all know, in every presentation I do ever live, we have a live demonstration. And I'll talk to you about that on another call. You're always going to have people that don't have a brilliant reaction. That's why we say this product works for most people most of the time, but not all the people all the time. And you'll know that if you pick 10 or 15, I always have 10 at least, or 6 at the minimum, that you're going to have 2 or 3 brilliant testimonials. So that's a great point. But I thought what Sandy said was very important. I think the information you just had from Adriana, I told you she's good, is absolutely fantastic. And I don't think enough people are using testimonials. Becky Hurley, when she put that video out, just one video, everyone in Jeunesse posted her video. Unfortunately for everyone who posted it, I didn't. All of the friend circle on that Facebook all went and signed up with Becky and bought the product from Becky, which is why she did 15,000 sales altogether over a 3-month period. Work that out, guys. 15,000 times 35, and she became a diamond 2 months later. Is because she swept up from all the people's Facebook. I love what she's had to say, Andrea. And I love the idea of the power of testimonials. I think we should spend a bit more time with it. So leaders on this call, this is when you need workshops. You come on the Sunday call, and during the week, you work with your teams to remind them of the importance of this. And I've been saying it from day one with Helena and Eleanor. They'll tell you, Demetrius and Eleanor online. I said, get your mother's testimonial. Go around there, take photographs of normal people in normal circumstances, and use video. It's very, very powerful. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Okay, my next guest, obviously, caveats onto that, is a wonderful lady who I've got to meet quite a lot online now. And I really love her enthusiasm. I like her commitment to helping us with these calls. And she's going to share with you today something called belief and bravery. Because I asked her a few days ago, and luckily I never have to chase her. She always says, Malcolm, I'm here. If you need me, I'm on the call, which is a great thing. It helps my job because I don't have time in all I do to run around looking for speakers. And I said, what are you going to talk about? She said, I want to talk about belief and bravery. So without further ado, we have the lovely Colleen calling you from Canada.
Well, thank you, Malcolm. Can you hear me okay? Okay, good. Okay, so our callers today have been amazing. As always, this call is so important, and I do really, truly thank you from the bottom of my heart and my team's heart that you do these calls. It is really important, and I do think people need to take it seriously as part of their education and learning to become a good network marketer. Paul has said it before that network marketing, you can't take a traditional type job that you've done and just flip it into network marketing without a lot of training and a lot of education. And your call does that for people. And it's very important that people take the time to get on them. But one thing I do want to touch on that I believe is a very, very important topic. Everything we're learning today is amazing and is everything we need to help build our business up and do well in Jeunesse. But there is one big obstacle that I do believe without, it is sometimes harder to take everything that we're learning today and turn it into a successful business. And that is being brave and believing in yourself. And these are I believe that the psychological part of this industry is 95% psychological. I really do believe it's that high of a number. Because if you can't, you can learn all you want. I mean, everything these people are teaching you is the best of the best, and you can take that all you want. But until you learn how to get over some hurdles, personal hurdles yourself, and learn how to believe in yourself and believe in, well, the products. I mean, if you don't believe in the products, you're in the wrong business, because there's no way you can't believe in these products. But you do have to believe in yourself and be brave. And I just want to share a story that sort of touches on that a little bit to just give an example. It doesn't relate exactly to Jeunesse, but it does. In the end, you'll see why. So I just want to tell you a personal story of mine. I was on the phone this morning, as I am every day, with one of my business partners and best friends, Tammy Sherman, and she reminded me of this story that was like a moment in time, moment in my life that is, I think, good to share, because I think other people will be able to relate and maybe it will inspire them. So I have, when I worked in the corporate world, I worked for a couple big organizations, and I would always come in at around a bookkeeping level, and I always worked my way up to management. And in this one particular company I worked in, it was a medium-sized company. They did about 5 million a year in sales. And I ran the company from an office point of view. The only area I didn't really touch on much was the actual sales department, but I ran everything else. But the owner was really not a nice person, and I'm sure nobody can relate to that, working for not a nice boss. And I wish I knew about Jeunesse back then. But anyways, he was really not a nice man, and I always looked out for the employees, and I always tried to make sure that they were rewarded for their efforts. And he didn't like that I was a strong-minded woman. First of all, he didn't like women, so that I already had that against me. And one day a word had got out that I had maybe said something a little negative about him, and maybe I shouldn't have, but I was just trying to protect the staff. And he called me into his office, and I had just bought a house. It's really important. I was about 24 years old, and I just bought my very first house. And putting down a deposit of $5,000, you can imagine the size of the mortgage. It was a big deal, and he knew that. And he thought that there was not a chance I would ever leave, because I now needed my paycheck. And he called me into his office and he made a big deal with another employee about something I had said negative about him. And he basically was sort of threatening me and saying, you know, there's lots of other people that could take your job in a heartbeat. And I just said, are you threatening me or are you firing me? Because I won't be threatened. I'm a very good employee and I've done a lot here. Are you firing me or are you just threatening me? Because I won't be threatened. And he said, well, you know, I could fire you. I said, are you firing me or are you threatening me? And he said, okay, you're fired. I said, okay, goodbye. And I stood up and I walked out of his office, and he was not expecting that. And to be perfectly honest, I didn't have a plan B, but I believed that I could get another job. I knew I was a good person, I was a hard worker, and I knew that I could get another job. And he thought he owned me. And I wouldn't do that because I just took on a huge mortgage, literally 2 weeks prior to this occurrence. So I walked, and he literally chased me down the hall and tried to beg me to stay. And I'm like, no, you fired me, I'm leaving. And I left. They tried to get me back and I wouldn't go back. But within 2 weeks, I had another job. And the reason why I had another job is because I believed in myself. I knew I could get another job. It wasn't it wasn't really a negative situation. I was actually glad to get out of, you know, the way he treated his employees. And I hope to set an example maybe for others so he wouldn't treat people like that. And the same thing went with when I started my bridal shop. I had no experience in owning a business, and I started it from scratch and just started it. And I remember one of my friends saying to me, you know, Colleen, you're the kind of person that just runs down the dock and jumps up into the air, and right before you hit the water, you check if you've got a life jacket on. You just do. I said, well, you have to. You have to believe in yourself in this life. I mean, you know, a lot of people don't have anybody that believes in them, and you have to believe in yourself. And, you know, just getting into how this pertains to Jeunesse, when I started this Jeunesse business, I didn't know anything about network marketing at all. I knew nothing, but I knew I could learn, and I believed in myself enough that, of course, once I learned about the business, the owners, the products, all that had to be in place, or I wouldn't have stood behind it. I then had to believe in myself. And if you don't believe in yourself, because maybe you have negative people around you, you must surround yourself with people like this webinar. All these leaders are incredible. The GPG, oh my God, I mean, how could you ask to be with a better team? Unbelievable leadership with Paula, Kathy, and all the other founders. And you surround yourself with, you watch videos, Jim Rohn videos. You surround yourself with people that you want to be like. And if you can't actually be with those people physically, then you watch videos every day, and you slowly will see that you start to believe in yourself, and that will help you in your business. And then at the same time, you listen and learn to everything that these wonderful leaders have on this line here to teach you, so that you're being educated on the business and how to do it successfully, but you also are learning to grow yourself and believe in yourself. And I do think that without a strong belief in yourself, you have to have that over and above what other people make you feel like. You have to be strong and know that you can do anything you want in life. I believe we're all born to win, and we just need to tap into that and learn how to do it. So with that, Malcolm, I hope that covers everything that you were wanting me to cover today. And thank you again for having me on your call. I do appreciate it. And you're just amazing. We love you.
Fabulous, fabulous. You know, I want to just take a little time out to catch up on some of the things that you've said. You said about belief and about bravery, and I think it's very important. And I want you to write this down, everybody. If it is to be, it's up to me. If it is to be, it's up to me. 26 months ago, I got on a bus. I had no money. My mother gave me the money. Let me just share this with you on this live call. And I went there with one box of Ageless on a bus journey that took 14 hours because there was a fight on the bus. I couldn't afford to go there by train, and I couldn't fly. And with the belief that I had in that little box with that Ageless, I went to Holland. And people forget that. I was the one who came to Holland on my own. And I had the belief system in me that this was going to transform my life, and I would get back up to where I need to be. 2 years later, I paid off all of my debts. I have over 100,000 in the bank. I'm not trying to show you off anything like that. Just saying, that was the key. But it was total belief in my upline, Paula Pritchard, in my belief in what she told me about the business and the company. It took a long time. So she's absolutely right. If it's to be, it's up to me. And remember this, you cannot give someone something out of an empty cup. If your cup is not full, how can you share it with anybody else? And I think the most important thing that she said is that you've got to be able to surround yourself with positive people. Some people said to me, Malcolm, you're ruthless. You close off people. Of course I do. I have to. Can you imagine the disrespect that I actually started all of that work, all the videos in Dutch, I created them, all that. And I don't need accolades for that. I did it because that's what we do as professionals. I did more to build that marketplace than anybody else. And I'm asking the leaders on this call that you've got to, and it's going to be part of the call tonight, the theme of this, we've got to get people to open the door and get out of the routine that they're actually in. And I love what she said, which is so important, how powerful, that you've got to listen to tapes and books. And that's how we learned. That's how I learned. I was going to be a doctor. I couldn't speak to anyone. Curly hair, believe it or not, once upon a time. Wear flares and a tank top. But reading books, going to seminars, listening to people and tapes changed my life. It can change yours. And it's called GIGO. Write that down. GIGO. Garbage in, garbage out. What you put in is what you put out. When's the last time you upgraded the software in your mind? Which brings me on to someone whose software runs at super speed. And I believe that he's got the latest technology and certainly the latest upgrades. Is my good friend. And I really love Dan. I think he's absolutely fantastic. You know, what I like about this call and the people I have on it, I never have to plead with them or chase them. They come up with, oh, I've got a meeting tonight. Sunday night's the night that we support our teams. Dan Parks is always here. And Dan's going to share with you building with events. Dan.
Well, I was thinking about just moving my lips for a minute to see, to make the effort of how many people that get started in this business spend more time talking than listening. And they have their customers or people they're trying to become distributors saying no, but they don't hear it. They just keep talking, think they can convince them. So that's one of those things. And certainly Colette was spot on with bravery. I mean, spot on. I've watched her from a distance of what she's done, and that she epitomizes bravery and due diligence and market research. And look what's happening for her and her business. Sandy, of course, is a legend. You know, I mean, really. Everyone on this call is phenomenal, and I'm grateful to be a part of it. I think I wanted to start first by saying how many people go to events and they go there by themselves, and they literally sit there the whole time. They might be part of a group, but they sit there, they have a package, they offer some new products, they launch a new product, they buy it for themselves, and they go home. But they never think about how they can leverage that type of an event to not only build volume in their own business, but also get product to people to get them started. As Sandy talked about customers, it's a lot easier to convert a customer to a distributor than someone who's never done this business before or has no belief in the products. I mean, that's just like a no-brainer. And particularly with our new customer program that's coming, where they'll actually have positions in a tree, you know, there's nothing that's going to be stronger than come back to that customer in 2 months and say, I don't know if you know it, but there's 300 people down one of your sides of your business. They're going to be like, what's that mean? The door's open now to convert them to distributors. There's a lady on last week, Gail Nash. She and I worked as we got ready for the NV launch. And we both arrived there with people's credit cards and pre-ordered purchases. And for myself, I did that with people I knew. They didn't even know how much it was going to be. I didn't either. I told them, I don't know what the packages will be, but I know this, it'll be phenomenal. When I know what they are, I'll text you or call you and let you know what it's going to be, and we'll buy packages. And they said, great. So I came back, and I actually had to go to the FedEx store at the convention where Lead was to ship stuff back home because I didn't have enough room in my luggage to get it back home. So it's really, really important to do that. And what really makes something like this special is then when you get home, you have packages that you can go deliver to people, and all of a sudden they're going to see it, they're going to love it. You can actually convert them on to distributors, or you can let them try it for a while and come back. I think with this new product, the NV product, people in Holland and other countries that'll be there, you want to go talk to people that own salons, makeup artists, wedding photographers, wedding planners. There's a whole list of people that you really want to talk to about this product that you can pre-sell these packages. And there's some bullet points that I wrote down about this that they need to know. In Las Vegas, when they launched the NV, there was a lot of people. If you could have seen the lines of people to buy that product, and Sandy was there, she'll tell you too, it was unbelievable, the lines of people. There was people walking out. There's so much product that they couldn't even carry it all, and they ran out. You know, they kept taking orders, but at the end of the day, they ran out, and it took them several weeks to get caught up to sell those products. And I would expect in Holland, it's going to be the same exact thing. And in Holland, as my understanding, they're having to ship this product there. So there might be a longer lag. So that's just another bullet point that you can tell people. There's this new product coming. They're surely going to run out. They did in the United States where it's made. So it's not made here. It's being shipped over. So they're going to run out. Now's the time to get the product. I'm telling you, this is the most phenomenal product you have ever seen. And people are going crazy over it. There's other things that people need to know about this. A simple one. You talked about Yolanda. Yolanda came from, she created the airbrush. It's called the Luminous airbrush. She's the creator of that. And so there's a lot of makeup artists, there's a lot of salon people that know what that product is. And the moment you say, she created this product too, but what this product does is it gives people, the regular people, the ability to have airbrush in a can. They can do it home in a minute. And that right there is enough to say, you want to, when you're kind of featuring this for Holland, you want to sort through and find the people that are willing to or trust you enough to give you their credit card and pull the trigger and jump on that quick. Don't try to convince people they're just going to buy a little bit. You're looking for people that are going to grab this and run this because, like you said, working in small groups, if you get 5 people that get these products, and when you get back from the Holland event, you can go meet with those 5 people. And here's what's even better. Use Carrie Dean saying, those 5 people can have focus groups. We have a new product that's just come to Holland. It's airbrush in a can, and we're going to have focus groups to get people's feedback of what they think of this product. You can put a house with one person that brings 10 guests, and now you're going to be able to sell from there. So you can really turn this into something that Oliver's really good at, the 90-day run. This can be the launch and the kickoff for that 90-day run to get you to advance a couple of ranks in a very quick period of time with a product. You know, you talked about Instantly Ageless, and you're right. It works on most people most of the time. This product works on 100% of the people all the time. And it works just as fast as Instantly Ageless. Within a minute, boom, people are speechless. So it's a phenomenal product. I'm a guy like you, and for us guys, it took me some time. We talked a few weeks. It took me some time to learn to use this product, but I'm telling you, I've learned it. It takes a minute to do it. I'm going to be putting some videos on Facebook to show that. But I'm telling you, the excitement that we're seeing in the United States is unbelievable. What we're seeing. Carrie has a coaching call that she does every day, and what we're seeing with this, I know Colleen is also on another call we do. What we're seeing from this product is unbelievable. It will blow past Instantly Ageless like you've never seen. And if you don't have the opportunity, if you won't make the time to take advantage and find as many people as you can to buy this product at Holland, you are going to miss a fast-moving boat. You can catch up to it, but as we all know, it's a lot harder to catch it than to board it and ride it through the wave. So that's pretty much so it. There's a couple of bullet points that I wanted to say. Get out and be brave, as Colleen said. Be brave. Call everybody in your downline about this product. Call everyone you know. I mean, I would take a few days and start making phone calls like crazy and set a goal. There's nothing better than setting a goal. Set a goal of saying, I'm going to Holland with 10 people ready to order the product at Holland, that I'm going to bring those products back. So, you know, this is your time. Everyone on this call, this is the time to take advantage of this. If there's people that aren't in Holland that know people going to Holland, reach out to your upline. Find people going to Holland. Buy the product. I'm telling you, it's well worth it. That I'm going to give it back to you because I get too excited with this, and then you can't stop me talking. So it's awesome.
I don't think anyone here, you know, I'm sure No one ever complains. And you know, I've always said, if someone, I had a lady once say to me, "Oh, hours too long for a call," and I'm glad she never comes on the calls. We don't want people like that. I'm prepared to travel 3 hours to go and listen to 1 hour of someone like yourself, because the information you're giving us is absolutely priceless. So a couple of points that you've mentioned, which I think are very important, and I want to share with you. Dan and I were talking before we came on the call, and I'm not really a social media guru by any chance. I built 3 separate diamond ships in 3 different networking businesses by working with postcards and with newspaper advertising. So I'm completely lost when it comes to Instagram, Twitter. You know, I always never understood, like, "Hi, I just ate a sandwich" tweet. You know, I mean, I don't get it, but obviously I'm missing out somewhere. And I think this product is wonderful, because what he was saying was that just going out into social media with the before and afters of the idea of the airbrush in a can is really, really exciting for the millennials, the youngsters, because we weren't able to reach those people with Ageless, because, you know, how can you go to a 25-year-old who spends his entire life on a phone? That's what they do, unfortunately. I don't, but many do. And they are really good at doing what I can't do. Wouldn't it be great to bring an army of those people on board? And we have the right product. So Dan's absolutely right. I think that Holland is going to be huge. Can I just add something for all the Dutch people who are now going to try and get the yellow pages and call up every salon and beauty salon, etc.? I'm going to give you a piece of advice. It's not going against what Dan says, but I'm sure he'll agree with me. My advice is don't do that right now. You know, they are professionals. They're not someone who's like a housewife or a pensioner that you can just go and blag, as we call it. You have to have a professional approach to these people. When we had Wave 1 in Holland, we had hundreds of salons that signed up with us. But there was no after service, there were no good banners, no good paperwork, no good after sales, nothing. They are busy people, these people. What happened was they bought 1 or 2 boxes of Ageless. People were jumping up and down. "Oh my God, the biggest hairdressing salon in Arnhem," and they never did any other business. If we do this right, and I'm going to work on information to help our teams in Holland and other places as well, I would say to all of the people online right now, the leaders, spend some time with your group to put together the marketing material that you need and have a flow chart of how you will approach, what you will have, all the marketing material that they will need to become retailers of your product, and the after sales and service, exactly as Sandy has said, because we look after them just like they are our customers. Excellent information. My next guest is an enigmatic young man who really has done extremely well. And it's with great pleasure I introduce you to South Africa's fire starter. He came on board, and what he has done there with some of the people he's brought on board has created this gigantic wave in a country that is unfortunately having turbulent times. The people like him are changing lives wherever they go, and I'm going to get Oliver to share with you snippets from his recent event that they've just had in South Africa, and also he's going to share with you bits of information he's picked up from some of the greatest trainers that we can think of that were in South Africa. Without further ado, Oliver Grimley from South Africa.
Hey, can you hear me, Malcolm? Okay, awesome. And so great to be back on this call. Again, I think these Sunday calls are so important, and I'm really excited to share that I know we're going to have about another 3 to 5 Sapphires come through very soon. So we'll also have some new Sapphires on these calls sharing their stories. And I just think it's so important to do these calls because, you know, when new Sapphires come through, they share their story. That's inspirational, and it gives other people the belief that it's possible. So don't miss any of these Sunday calls coming up, because there's going to be new people on, new Sapphires on, and every week there might be a new Sapphire coming up soon because of the growth in South Africa that's been happening. So yeah, we just had Jeunesse University in South Africa, and you know, there were hundreds of people there. They launched a new product, and the energy and the momentum in Africa is incredible. We've got a team now in Nigeria that's growing. We just came back from Ghana. I had 400 people in the room that I spoke in front of. It was just an incredible experience and a very humbling experience to see those people. They just such salt of the earth, like really genuine people. It was an amazing experience, and you know, we're just doing a lot of events here all the time. As Dan said, you know, promoting events is key, and staying consistent with that really. And I just wanted to share some stats with you on what's going on here, just to give everyone an idea. But last year we did 278% growth in sales, and they're predicting us. I know in February we had our 3rd best month ever, and next month we're going to have probably the best month in history in Jeunesse in Africa. I'm pretty sure, because of the momentum that we've been creating. And you know, what I want to say is the key to the momentum really is the events, and it's promoting these events consistently. Really, that's how we're getting our momentum, because you can sit with 200 people, but imagine how long that would take you, whereas you can do one event and you can share a message with hundreds of people in just an hour. So having an event and promoting events build big businesses. It really does. And the key is consistency. You know, I've looked at the other teams, and the reason they don't have the same growth we have is they do an event 1 week on a Wednesday, the next week it's on a Friday, then they don't do an event for 3 weeks, then it's on a Tuesday. You know, so I just have kept consistent with doing the events bi-weekly. You know, I found that bi-weekly is quite good. We were doing them every week, but then I just found that that's a really sort of good time period to give people to promote. And what we do is we just stay consistent. So everyone knows it's every day, this day of the week, every 2 weeks. So that's just non-negotiable. I don't care if 10 people show up or 100 people show up, we're going to have an event. And that consistency gives people that outlet to build their business. So they know that if they just bring people and put them in front of that presentation, they're going to have an opportunity to grow. And I think the consistency of having those events all the time and teaching our people to do that as well in other markets, you know, have an event, get a room. It doesn't matter if you start in your home, in your lounge. If it's you don't have to hire a venue necessarily in the beginning. Just start small and just show the business, and just teach your team to do the same thing, and keep it simple. You know, just keep it simple and just be consistent. So that's what's been key to our growth. And you know, when people get started, and I'll start going slowly into mindset chat, is, you know, they might believe they can be an executive or a Jade. That's realistic in their mind. But to talk to them about making millions of dollars and being an emerald or diamond, that's way too far out for most people to believe. So you lose them when you approach people and you get all excited and you say to them, listen, you can make millions of dollars in this business, you know, It's you're losing them there. But if you say to them, listen, would you like me to show you how I can help you to just, you know, make an extra $1,000 or a few $1,000s a month so that you can pay off your car payments, or you can, you know, send your kids to school, or you can just get enough money so that you can go on that holiday that you wanted to go on in the middle of this year, and speak to them in their language, which is their dreams. You know, you got to know what it is that they want, what it is that they desire, and that means you got to listen first. You know, and when you do that and you speak to them in their language, which is what they're dreaming about, I always talk about, and you just explain to them it's a small process. Let's just get you executive first, get you 2 people, and if we can help you get 4 people who have 2, you become a Jade. You know, that's realistic to them, and they can see how that works. And what happens is, if you can get them exec and you can get them to Jade, all of a sudden Pearl and Sapphire now in their mind are achievable, and they believe that's possible. And when they Sapphire, now they believe that Ruby's possible. And when they're Ruby, now they can believe that Emerald and Diamond are definitely possible. So small steps, you know, leading to bigger steps is the key there. And, you know, not everyone has the self-belief that you have as a leader, you know, and I myself have to keep reminding myself where I was 5 years ago. I could never have imagined being, you know, where I am right now. You know, you sometimes have to ask your 18-year-old self, if you were to tell your 18-year-old self where you are right now, what would your 18-year-old self think? It would probably be like, wow, that's amazing. But if you ask yourself where you are right now, you might be not so impressed. But just remember where you've managed to go and look at what you've achieved and acknowledge your accomplishments, because that will build your self-belief. And, you know, a lot quicker than criticizing yourself and bringing yourself down and comparing yourself to everyone else. You know, just look at what you have done, write it down, sit down, write down all the things you've accomplished, and that will slowly help you to also build that self-belief. And just work slowly and consistently, and those small goals will become big goals. You know, the other thing I always talk about is your mind and your body are connected. You know, so if you push yourself physically, you actually increase your capacity to push yourself mentally. And I know not everyone is big into the whole physical thing, but if I can tell you the way I start my day every morning is I do vigorous and intense exercise, and I push myself physically, and I get my mind and my body out of the way first thing in the morning, so the rest of the day I can focus on Jeunesse. And some people like to do it the other way around. I just like to get it done in the morning. And it doesn't matter whether you go to the gym or what you do, but you got to do something where you're working on your mind and your body in the morning for at least 30 minutes to an hour to get yourself in the right state to take on the day, right? And I can't agree more with what Colleen said on mindset. I mean, 95% of this is in the mind. I really do believe that the higher you go in anything in life, it becomes more to do with the mindset. And when I was an athlete, I remember I learned all the skills. I hit all the balls. I hit all the tennis shots. My background's tennis, for those that don't know. And I got to a point where I could hit every shot in the book, but I wasn't getting better. And that's when I realized I needed to figure out how to get better in my mind to take my game to the next level. And I was fortunate enough to be coached by somebody who won a Grand Slam twice, Johan Crick. And he said to me, I actually asked him, I said, what percentage of this sport do you think is mental? And most experts say 70%. He says 95% of tennis at elite level is mental. And I can tell you that at this game, it's no different. At the diamond level, 95% of this business is all between the ears. It's all mental. And your inner world and your mindset creates your outer world. And every morning when I'm driving to the gym, it's a 45-minute drive to go to the sweat class that I do. People say, how do you drive that long? I don't even worry, because in those 45 minutes, I'm listening to an audiobook every single morning. That's the time that I'm feeding my mind. I never listen to the radio. I don't know what's going on in the government. That's their world. It doesn't matter. What I'm worried about is my world. Worrying about what's going on in other people's lives is not going to help make me money. It's not going to help feed my family, feed my, make me travel the world. So I know all about what's going on in my world. I don't need to worry about what's going on in everyone else's world. So focus on your own world and making sure that what you're putting into your mind every single day is going to benefit you. And don't worry about the news and what is going on everywhere else, because that's not serving you, right? And I just wanted to finish here by saying something that might help you to believe in yourself a little bit more. And that is that you have a 1 in 400 trillion chance of being born. Just so you know that. So when your parents got together, right, there was a 1 in 400 trillion chance that you were born. In other words, that means that you were chosen. You are not here by chance. There are no coincidences. I'm a big believer in that. So in other words, you have been chosen to be put here. That means that you are here for a purpose. You are here to live a life of significance. You are here to contribute to something bigger than yourself. So don't for 1 second ever think that you aren't important, because you're a miracle. Think about that. If I had to say to you, you've got a 1 in 400 trillion chance of winning this, whatever it is, and you won it, you would think that that's incredible, right? That's a miracle. That's you. You are that right now on this planet. So, you're an absolute miracle yourself. So believe in yourself 100%, because if you don't, no one else will. You've got to believe in yourself first. And you're a miracle. Like I said, and one of the most profound things I've heard from Peter Sage, one of my mentors, is he taught me that you already are that which you seek. You already are that which you seek. You want to write that down, and you want to ingrain that in your mindset, because what that means is you're already good enough. You're already good enough. You don't need to go diamond. You don't need to go emerald. You don't need to do that to become good enough. You already are that which you seek. And when you can realize that, and you can start to live and walk and talk and act as if you already were what it is that you want, that will all start to manifest into your life. So it's the other way around. Your inner world will create your outer world, not your outer world first to get into the inner world. So focus on those things, and that's, I could go on and on and on about this, but the quickest way to do that is just focusing on what you're grateful for, realizing that you are born a miracle. You're here to serve a life, created in yourself, something of significance. and go out there and just do it.
Absolutely fabulous. And we've missed you on our call, young man. It's always a pleasure. Can I just also remind all of my speakers, and many of you who are going to be speakers in the future, as the call develops, I want you to just think about it. It's important before I bring my final guest on. I don't like wearing a suit. This is my home. I work, I've got a TV screen, I record videos, and I work. But as we develop this call, more and more guests are going to come online. And I think it's important, all of us, and Sapphire as you join this call, to look the best that you can, because you're showcasing who you are. Now, some people don't agree with that. They say, well, we're a home-based business, Mark, we don't have to dress up for it. Maybe it's because I'm British, and maybe that's one of my challenges. But I believe that people do look at it. We're representing a multi-billion-dollar business, a business that's generating for an individual in this business $1 million a week. We're representing a business that brings in 150,000 people a month, every single month. A business that is seen by tens of millions of people around the world, hundreds of millions of people on TV. And I think it's important that we up our ante so that the Sunday calls coming up in the future, people come forward and we can be proud. I would never turn up to a meeting in shorts. I would never turn up to a meeting in slippers. And I think it's important on these calls, just make a little bit of effort. If we have private calls, it's not telling anybody off because you're my friends. I'm just letting you know. Because we want to open this call out to more and more guests. Because the information you all shared today is going to profoundly affect people who are sitting there looking at our business. And the biggest fish, the real big earners, are sitting there waiting. They've watched the small fish coming in. They've seen we're around for 7 years. Now they're going to move in. And they expect to have this mechanism. Key word that's important. The second most important key word that I can think of is going to be shared with you right now with my next guest, a fabulous speaker, a great trainer, Rolando from Cyprus, who's going to talk to you about the second most important word in network marketing. Rolando.
Malcolm, I'd like to take just a minute to say I thought of a word to describe each person that spoke today. And you know what? Listening to Sandy, she's inspirational. I just want to be like her. and Colleen, she emits enthusiasm and belief, and that big smile of hers just makes you just want to do whatever she's doing. and Dan, he is rock solid credibility. The way he speaks, the bass in his voice, and his knowledge, and his background, and the fact that he's taking this business on by the horns and just slamming it. His belief that comes through. And Oliver, man, what can I say? He's just youth and maturity packed in one super box of knowledge. And he's just putting it through so well. I take my hat off to him. And Andreani, what can I say? A year ago, she had nothing to do with network marketing. And today, she's absolutely killing it. She's not far from elite. She's a superstar. But none of us would be here if it wasn't for the person with the foresight to gather a group of people who love this business and to display such selflessness and sacrifice time and put this platform together. So a big applause to you, Malcolm, because without you, none of this would be possible. And I'll tell you this, anybody who is not on this call is crazy and is not serious about their business. What these people are putting forward and sharing on this call is wealth in an hour. If we could put something together and say how to get rich in an hour, all this stuff would be in there. And if you're not on this call, well, you're not even listening to what I'm saying now, are you? So, yeah, everyone on this call, and starting with you, Malcolm, has been doing what I call the second most important word in network marketing after duplication. Duplication is number one. In my book, edification is number two. We speak to people and we fail to say that we are in the fastest growing company in the world. This is not just MLM now. I do a lot of investments in the markets and I follow a lot of companies. No company listed on a stock exchange today is growing faster than Jeunesse Global. And certainly the ones that are close, none of them are using a bricks and mortar product that actually is produced, transferred, and delivered to a customer like Jeunesse is doing. Edify the company, guys. People want to be with known big brands, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and they're bad for you. This stuff is actually good for you. So edifying the company is a huge thing, because we are part of $1 billion company. No other company has reached $1 billion in MLM or in direct selling in 6 years. Second, we are blessed to be in a team within this company called the Global Partners Group. We have a person on our team who actually created this phrase. What do you do? Oh, I'm in a big project right now in collaboration with the Global Partners Group and Jeunesse Global. People are like, what? She had bankers handing her their card wanting to speak to her. This is edification at its best. The Global Partners Group embodies the ethics that are spoken about in Jeunesse, embodies deep success through the depth of time, not here today, gone tomorrow. The Global Partners Group showcases people like Paula Pritchard, one of the first-time directors in the granddaddy of them all, Amway. Super successful author, networker, who is followed by a wealth of generals in network marketing, Kathy Robbins and Carrie Dean and Ian and Judy Mary and Malcolm Peters and all these other people who are the Global Partners Group. They can teach you and train you and stand by you until you get to where they are. And you know what? They put their money where their mouth is. They were in little old Cyprus last month. 700,000 people. We're not exactly South Africa or the USA, but they support everyone who loves this business. And if you really love this business, you can edify Paula and Kathy and all these people, because they're doing it. They're making a lot of money. They've been making a lot of money for 20, 25 years in MLM. This is where you're bringing people. So when you use this type of edification, you make people believe. Actually, you show people the truth. You're becoming part of something bigger than you that operates as a whole and creates change in people's lives and creates success and creates wealth and brings you out of the dungeon that you might be, or puts you in a better place in your life. So edifying the company, edifying the team within the company. And of course, if you're doing a meeting and you're new, you don't even have to know the product. You know, I hear people say, I want to learn the products. I want to try the products to make sure that everything works before I put my name. I hear people who say to me, I want to show the products to my doctor while they smoke 2 packs of cigarettes a day. I'm laughing. Here's what I'm saying to you. You don't need to know anything other than to use your credit card to sign up, because you can say this. There's an amazing guy that I just met. His name is Malcolm Peters. He's expanding his global business in Cyprus. And by some freak accident, he chose me to be a part of his business. And you know what? What he does is actually, he represents a company that helps people like you who want to lose weight, or who have trouble sleeping, or who are full of inflammation and looking for solutions. You know, I could tell you some things, but I don't know enough. I'm new at this. What I do know, he's a brilliant person, extremely successful. He travels the world. He speaks to doctors. He speaks to individuals, and he changes people's lives by guiding them onto these products that you can use to get a good night's sleep, to get the inflammation out of your system. And that, my friends, is the first part of the trilogy of edification. You edify the company. You edify, of course, the team you're in, and you edify the person who is coming with you to the meeting. Now, a little secret here, a little nugget. If you're introducing a speaker, I would say the man who is changing the world one country at a time, one speech at a time, the man who knows more than anybody else on this earth about network marketing, about growing a business, and about changing your life. My good friend, my lifelong friend, Malcolm Peters. You leave the name for last. You build an image around this person that everybody wants to know who they are. And then you say the name at the end. Moving forward though, Malcolm Peters, my friend, would come on stage. And if he knows I've got 1 or 2 or 10 people, or even if he's on a 3-way meeting with me and he is doing a presentation for me, he would tell my guest, Andreani, you're here with the right person. I have never met. And then Malcolm would actually do reverse edification. Because when Malcolm does this incredible presentation for me and my friend signs up, he leaves. And my friend only has me to continue with. So, and here's why reverse edification is so important. I've been in some areas of my life wildly successful beyond my imagination. I think it was less than a 1 in 400 trillion that I would ever make it on that level of success. But somehow I did. My older cousins, when I spoke to them about Jeunesse at the beginning, or even other companies, I used to change your diapers. What are you talking about? They know me on a different level. Or my mom would say, son, I'm making piles of money. And my mom would tell me, son, when are you going to get a real job where you actually put on a suit and go to work? Or my friends that know me, that used to be in the playground with me, and we used to be mischievous together, they'll say, okay, we'll listen to you, but sounds fishy, or something like that. When I brought a person that I edified, and they did the presentation for me, 2 things happened. I built them up, so my guest came along. A, they were on their best behavior because they were with somebody big from the company from another country or from another town. So they would not play around with me like they do if I was doing the presentation. So they were listening attentively. And I'm going to give a little parenthesis here. Paula says success is in the show. I think if we go one step further, and I'm a firm believer in everything Paula says, if we go one step further, success lies in the show when the person is listening. And proper edification brings a person to the table who is going to learn from an expert, a world speaker, somebody who's changing lives. And of course, a friend of ours who does not want to embarrass us, so they're on their best behavior. So edification makes sure that people are listening with 2 very large ears, very attentively. When that happens, the information, and we use the proper words as Big Al teaches us, the information goes in their head, and we don't use GEICO. We actually put good information in their heads, and the information stays in. And that's all we can do, inform and educate. The decision is on themselves because we are in the sorting business. However, edification, we do it all the time. Imagine when you have 2 friends, a boy and a girl, or a boy and a boy, or a girl and a girl, doesn't matter, that you want to get together. What do? You edify one to the other. You tell them good things about each other. So you build an expectation when they meet. All they're looking for is validation for everything that they've already heard. They're not starting from zero. They feel like they know a little bit about the other person, good things, great things. In our line of business, it's even better because if we use edification towards a problem that our prospect is facing, whether it's money or a health issue or anything like that, the prospect comes to the table waiting to hear from an expert, much like they would hear advice from a doctor. So edification is key to bring the person to the presentation and make sure they listen with 2 big ears, very attentively. Reverse edification, when our speaker actually edifies us back, creates the opportunity for us to take over after he leaves and develop either the customer that Sandy spoke about or the distributor that Malcolm always speaks about. I cannot think of a word that I would put in number 2 on the podium of 3. Duplication is the champion, number 1. Edification is number 2. Malcolm, back to you.
What a call. Absolutely fantastic. We've taken up quite a lot of time. I'm sure people got, I got a lot of information here, and I think it's absolutely priceless. I'm going to close with this. 2 years ago, when I first went to Holland, I told people that if you badmouth your leadership, you'll notice that your entire groups will collapse, and that's what happened. People do what you do, and I'm always eternally grateful that I got an email from Paula Pritchard, and I've known her for 27 years, that said, "Malcolm, are you networking?" And I said, "I am now," and it changed my life. And you must always remember, whether you like your sponsor, you don't like your sponsor, whatever, that they are the reason that you came into the business at this time, in this group, in this space. Because you may have never heard of this. There are people who've not heard of things like, Coca-Cola even, believe it or not, even today. So it's important that you edify, not because you're trying to kiss up someone's backside or build them up. You owe them the responsibility to respect what they do because they're helping you. I've been working 10 levels down, 11 levels down. I've been called a diva, I'm this, I'm that. I don't earn anything below level 5, nothing. But I still go working deep, deep down. 5 hours with one person I've spent on a call. I've spent 4 hours with somebody else, because what I do, and that's going to be on our training calls coming up in the next few weeks, is I'm looking for lookers. I'm looking for people, and I burrow down. I'm a driller. I'm a mole. I build a line of sponsorship. I don't go 400 wide, because you can build 400 wide, but 380 of them will hate you because you haven't got infrastructure to support them. Oliver's doing a great job because he's got lots of meetings and people are duplicating. So there's a support infrastructure in place. So we've been doing this for years. But where you're on your own, small groups, you've got to be able to hold together and edify each other, because that's what's going to make your business work. I could go on for another 20 minutes. Brilliant notes. And the last thing I say is, you've heard it on this call. Oliver's right. It starts off with meetings. Stefania started off by doing meetings in people's houses with people's arms crossed, who are busy walking away from making pasta. They've got 18 meetings a month taking place around the world. The average show in their rooms right now is 300 to 400 people. It didn't happen overnight. And if you look at how that all came about, Calvin Becerra has been doing this non-stop every day for 10 years. 10 years. This is my month 26. And for most of the people on this call, it's their first and second year. And I think we're doing a damn good job. I hope you all have a fantastic week, because we've got transformation like you've never seen taking place this coming week. Build towards Amsterdam. Get as many people as you can over there. And we look forward to you inviting everybody, even people that you want to talk to. We use these kind of calls by getting guests to say, "Hey, I've just got started with something really exciting, a multi-billion-dollar project. I respect your opinion. I respect what you are as a business person. I'd like you to come and listen in. And I'd like your perspective on what you see." We use these calls. And I'll ask all my speakers, please, try and make a real effort to look really smart. You don't have to always wear a shirt and tie, but always look the best that you can, because outsiders who could transform your business and your life are going to be looking in for next week. Hope you enjoyed the call. See you online next week, Sunday. Invite everybody that you know from around the world. Thank you, everybody. Good night, and have a fantastic new week. Bye, everybody. Good night.